One question that people often ask me as a criminal defense lawyer is, if somebody's facing charges, if they are out of custody during the pretrial phase and jury trial, if they're sort of released from jail, do they tend to fare better in the proceedings than somebody who's in jail? And the fact is, I don't know of any published studies on this matter, but based on my 16 years of experience, I think the answer is absolutely yes. Out of custody defendants tend to fare better than those in jail. And really, I think there's three reasons why. First of all, if our client is out of custody, then it takes the time pressure off of us. If our client is in jail, then we feel a real need to move the case along quickly because we don't want our client languishing in jail. On the other hand, if the client is out of custody, we feel a lot more leeway to be able to continue the case, sometimes for months and months and months. Now, I realize this is a double-edged sword because I hear a lot of people complain about their lawyers and they say, all the guy ever does is go into court and continue the case and continue it and drag things along. And I realize that people want to get closure to it. But the fact is that aging a case oftentimes can have real benefits for the defense. I mean, the fact is, over time, witnesses tend to move away. Their recollection of events tend to fade. Prosecutors and judges get tired of a case, and at some point, many times they're willing to offer a sweet deal just to get rid of the damn thing. So continuing the case and delaying it oftentimes can be a good defense strategy. Secondly, I find that defendants in custody oftentimes will take a bad plea bargain just to get out of jail right away. Over the years, I've seen many defendants take a strike or take multiple strikes or plead guilty to something that would ultimately get them deported if it would allow them to get out of jail today. When you're in jail, the only thing you can think about is getting out immediately, getting out of this hellhole and sleeping in your own bed. And in that situation, oftentimes you'll agree to anything. So often we see people in custody make bad short-term decisions that will come back to haunt them later on. Whereas a client who's out of custody, who doesn't feel that sort of immediate pressure to get out of jail, oftentimes will make better, more logical decisions in terms of whether to accept or reject plea bargain offers from the prosecutor. Finally, we find that out-of-custody defendants often tend to get more respect from prosecutors and judges, and especially juries if the case goes to trial. Whenever we're in jury trial and the jury is sort of coming back to court in the morning or after lunch, we like to have our client sitting in the hallway, playing with his kids, holding his wife's hands, embracing his parents, because it humanizes the person. And I think almost always when jurors see that again and again, it almost always makes it harder for them to convict.